All right. Just hoping that you could actually hear that. Welcome back to another Unlicensed. We got to do the last minute checks, the last minute mic checks. Hopefully it all sounds good, right? That's always the hope. If you guys are in here, or if you guys are making your way in here, shout out to you guys. All right, we got Mrsochimaeze right up in here. Hopefully, you saw the intro. Really proud of that. But you know, I like try new stuff like that, making the stream a little bit more mine. Not that it's not, but you know, the whole process should be a constant like refinement. That should be the name of the game. Whatever you're doing in life, you should be constantly trying to see if you can do it better, if you could do it quicker, faster, more efficient, all that good stuff, right? All that good stuff that doesn't really sound sexy, but ends up being hypercritical to most of the changes that you do in your life. It's boring. It sometimes does not go rewarded, but you do it anyway. You do it anyway. Sometimes it reminds me of this great quote that I came across when I was writing my own book. It says sometimes the fear won't go away, so you do it afraid. Right? You just do it afraid anyway. So listen, Unlicensed Thursdays. They're not officially Thursdays, but they seem to fit right now. The only thing I want to try and keep is Subscriber Sundays and obviously Mondays, just because it fits like that. But we get in where we can fit it, and today we have a little bit of time. I wanted to talk about a topic that it seems to come up more and more and more and more, just about sort of manipulation. And this is not first to pigeonhole and say this is only a female thing. You can see plenty of examples of men doing the very same thing. Manipulation, it has such a bad terminology, and it's fair, right? It's fair. How's this going on? Glad to see you made it. It's fair. It's fair for some things to have those negative connotations, but a lot of it, when you take that step back, and we're always trying to take a more macro view of things, where you can see that most of your relationships are one form of manipulation or one other. It's when it's being done to the detriment. We do this in just the way we communicate. When I have a thing that I need to get done, or I have a desire, and you have an ability to fulfill that, more likely than not, the conversation is going to be more likely the conversation is going to be more about manipulation, right? It's going to be used. Yeah, you know, you women can't be the only one getting the stuff together. So when you see this, right? We see this manipulation take place even when we're young, right? And when we're children, and well, you don't know how to communicate what you need. So what do? You cry. Right? It's autonomic. You just do it. And sometimes you cry because you're wet. Sometimes you cry because you're hungry. Sometimes you cry because you should be napping, but yet you're not. You're overstimulated. You cry, and then that response, that's a manipulation in a sense. We do that now that when we get older, your boss manipulates you. He holds your paycheck over your head and says, if you commit and you do this, I can give you this. I'm trying to get us to realize that it happens often. Sometimes it's malicious, yes. Other times it's more like, listen, I need to help convince you that this is the right way to go. Sometimes it comes down to play around egos, and women have egos too, and men certainly have egos. I think some of the most successful women have always known how to play around a man's ego. I constantly say that the advantage that an older woman has over a younger one, the one that she should be playing, is her experience with men. You know how to motivate him. You know how to take away his motivation. You know how to be his unmuse. You know what words tend to cut deeper. You should also know how to inspire him to higher heights. You can't fake most of these things. These things come with time and experience. So instead of trying to compete with your younger self by, Botox, visiting Dr. Miami, fractal lasers, doing God knows what fish and what semen put on people's faces. Sometimes it's, I know how to talk to them. I know how to cut through a lot of the BS, and I know how to talk to them. And sometimes it's simply radical sort of accountability. That's very attractive. But we're here to talk about the other type of manipulation, right? The not so quaint, not so cute, the not so, the ones that make you feel like, This is not how we're supposed to be doing things. This is not the game. This is not how the beautiful game is supposed to be played. Yet, there it is. Most of us have gone through different examples of this. And it sometimes, if you don't know, if you're not aware, it can break you. Right? When you feel like you don't have any sort of control over what you decide to do, when you decide to do it, or that your efforts are going unnoticed. These are things that end up breaking entire relationships. So, like I said, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Let me see if I got my little thing up. Yes, that's working. Forgive me because that wasn't working a whole second ago. So what we end up, we want to talk about, we'll go through about 8 of the major ones, and we try to give examples. And if we can have people from, that are in the chat or in the stream, give their own examples, that would be a nice little thing to, bring around. Appreciate it. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Listen, I've been having some great conversations this week with a couple of you guys in here, a couple of you guys that aren't in this part of this YouTube space. And one of the most resounding things, and I had one just this morning with my Spanish tutor. Well, we were talking just about how negative, right? How negative the world tends to be, and how most things that people do is simply to get a response out of you, right? It's simply get a response out of you. I'm glad you made it. It's simply get a response out of you. It's just because those people have nothing. Could you imagine, right? Could you imagine your own life? You got nothing else going on for you. You got nothing going on, but you feel emboldened, right? To try to cause some sort of friction and static with other people. I can't think of anything sadder than me. But listen, we keep going because this is, the stream for mental health, and people out there are suffering, even though they may not be completely aware of it. You carry on a lot of angst, and many, depending where you come from, depending how you like to label some of these things, you can call it bad juju, bad spirits. You carry this around with you, and it haunts you. You don't notice the change in yourself. You don't notice how one bad decision doesn't really change your character, but it makes it easier for the second one. It smooths the road for the third one. Now, this is just simply part of your personality, part of who you are. This is how you act. This is how you treat people. If you were able to take that, again, that macro view, you would be able to take that view out. You'd be able to see like, yo, I'm kind of effed up, right? I'm kind of effed up. Hey, glad to see you. Glad you made it. So if you end up constantly giving into that sort of notion, this becomes part of who you are. And part of the conversation, I was having earlier today with her, it was specifically about how quickly you don't own your own thoughts, how you've been influenced to believe that this is how things are supposed to work. So you simply go with that. When you have young men and women quoting things from generations past, experiences from generations past, you're a young woman and she's saying all these N-words ain't ish. Men these days, blah, blah, blah. What do you know about men these days? Right? You probably just started your journey on dealing with men in that realm, but you've accepted this realm of thinking because you heard it so many times. So therefore it must be true. You hear it enough, it must be true. Remember when they thought, the universe, went around the earth? You heard it enough, you thought it was true. Until you stop and you say, hey, let me actually do a little bit of research. Let me do a little bit of thinking. All right, we don't have to talk about Copernicus and his gang, but what about love languages? You heard it enough, you think it's true. Love languages aren't backed by any science, right? By any social science. It wasn't anything that was tested, and no, but we take that, we've internalized that. There's astrology and there's love languages. That's how much we've simply accepted these things. You've been manipulated into thinking that this is real, and now you base your relationships on it. Now you say, if this person's love language doesn't match mine, then, well, what's the point? We can't get along. As if people haven't been getting along since time immemorial, since there was 3 cavemen and one said, I got a really big stick, unga bunga, he beat you over the head and he took your womb. They've been getting along fine. You're outside in the cold, trying to make yourself a nice stone wheel so you can roll that around. No, we accept some things because they feel good, they sound good, and that's enough for us. No, in a society that has the most advantage when it comes to knowledge, when you have the most access when it comes to knowledge, except the cool stuff, except the super secret stuff that, you know, with the Black Hawks and the black collar, the people in the black suits, you can't know about some stuff. But other stuff you may want to look up, you want to learn, you can do that. And at any given time, you can look up anything you want. Yet, all it takes is a pretty influencer to tell us, a handsome influencer who is shouted by an expensive car and beautiful woman, and then we believe it. We've allowed this manipulation to occur. Even those of us with sound minds and sound judgments and ability to reason for ourselves, we're lazy. We're lazy. We don't do the intellectual hard work. So this is where we find ourselves. Now we're all looking goofy. And the worst thing you do, the absolute worst thing you do is look goofy. But listen, we're gonna go along, right? Because we got 8 to go through, right? And we got visuals so people don't feel like they're lost. So the first one is the loyalty trap, right? And again, if you have experience with this, you can feel free to chime in. I'll read from the chat if you want to give an example. So essentially, your commitment is the leash, right? The more you invest in someone, the harder it is to leave. And again, maybe you guys may be too embarrassed to give examples of that. But as many of you guys know, I regaled this stream on episode 1 about chasing after this young woman in high school. And I did the things, right? All the things, because I thought the equation was just that simple. If I just do enough of the things that have been listed, then I should get the result that I want. You know, we like to, you know, strip away a lot of the variables so we can have a great idea, an easier idea. You know, 1 + 1 is supposed to equal 2. There's no extra variables in here. There's no extra letters. Right? We get confused. We get anxious. You throw in 2x + 3 equals this. Now you start panicking. Right? Now the beads of sweat starts falling. You got variables you got to do with. Hell, when they say now 2x + y equals this, 5x. Now you're like, oh my God. Oh my God. So we want to do the same things in relationships. You see that we have that same sort of talking points where all people do this, all men do this, all women do this. It's easy because it makes you feel certain. You've got an absolute. So I thought if I do all the things, I do all the dope things, then she's gonna like me. That's the deal. That's the equation. That's how it's supposed to work. It didn't work like that. It didn't work like that. I did all the above and beyond stuff. I thought it was dope, right? I thought it sounded good, right? But in reality, people have the ability to decide what they want, what's good for themselves at any time of time. Was your birthday? Yo, happy birthday, right? Yeah, tomorrow's my sister's birthday, so shout out to you. You must be pretty important. You must be special. If you got a birthday, here, let me give you that. There you go. Hopefully you heard that. Like I didn't realize a lot of stuff wasn't being heard before, but hopefully you heard all that. So loyalty trap. So you think that the more you invest, that somehow this is supposed to engender that person's loyalty to you, or you're loyal to the program and it says to do these things and then you're going to get it. It's akin to it's right up there with the sunken cost fallacy. The more I've done for you as a potential suitor, or the more he's done for me, the harder I feel it is to be left. And sometimes we just simply use this to get you to feel this way. So you're unhappy in a relationship, but I'm going to point out all the things I've done for you. All the things I've done for you. Where I found you. How you were when we first met. All the things that I've done for you, your family, your friends, and you're just going to up and leave me? Well, I'm trying to convince you. I'm trying to manipulate you into thinking this is what I was supposed to be. Now, it's not something, obviously, I'm just trying to give you the example because you guys are being shy. But this is a very real, simple thing that, you know, you see people into that sunken cost. We've been together for 16 years. I just don't know. That's that loyalty in there. But when you weaponize that becomes the manipulation part. That becomes where you start trying to convince someone against what makes sense, what they may want to do. You guilt them into thinking that, you know, we'll cover a little bit of that later. So again, let me check because that's going back and forth. Oh, my brother's in here. Shout out to my brother. Yeah. My guy, right? Always glad to see you dropping by. The man that made one half of the cutest niece ever. Also, his birthday's coming up. Those are my nieces. Right? July kicks off the birthday shenanigans. Right. So we're moving on from Lord to Death. And again, if you guys have your own examples, feel free. Right. Don't be shy about it. Right now, no one's going to make fun of you online. We'll take the conversation offline, and then we'll talk all about you and all the things that happen. So next one we're talking about is strategic vulnerability. This is a great one. This is a very simple one. I think all of you kind of understand this. People like to weaponize their pain for sympathy. Right? We do this in all types, in the political spectrum. You going online, people sometimes going on TikTok and begging and showing you how terrible that life is. They engender you to say, now let me part with my money, my resources to help them. I'm just telling you about how my life has been so difficult, how it's awful, how what happened to me when I was younger means why you need to be kinder to me, why you need to understand why I cheated on you because of I had a bad upbringing. It's weaponizing that thing inside the men to say, you should, right? You should protect me. It's real pain deployed like a tactician, right? I want to disarm your logic. And then as soon as I can just do that, I can trigger that protective instinct. That's one of the easiest ways you get a man off balance. You disable the logic, you hit him with the feelings, and you see that all the time. You're saying something, you have a conversation, but then the tears start. And you almost automatically, right, for the untrained, for the uninitiated, almost automatically what happens? You immediately want to go and stop those tears from forming. You want to stop the reason that those tears. This is supposed to be maybe, a pure sort of reaction, but we have the internet. We see how easily people can weaponize those tears, how they can turn it on and off. And then you're left looking, oh, that's kind of cold. One of the things they say, one of the best thing you do is actually have a bunch of like female friends so you can actually see how some of the stuff is deployed, how sometimes it seems so unfair that you weren't feeling like that a second ago. Yeah, those tears are at the ready. Men have to be great actors, right, to weaponize those tears. That takes a whole lot of work. So when you see those actors on screen doing it, I'm thinking, did you cut with the Visine or something? But it's a very easy tactic to use in order to get someone off their feelings, off their mark. If I see that you're upset and I really do care and love you, I'm going to want to abandon what I've been upset about. I came to you with an issue. I came to you and said, this isn't working. This is problematic. You did this and this hurt. I don't like any about this. So what do we do instead? What happens? Well, you start crying. And I'm weighing how important this thing was for me a second ago to you crying. And I feel as if it's my job to make sure you're not crying. It's again, children do it, right? Children do it hella effectively, right? It's great to advocate something taking responsibility. Yeah. Absolutely. Abdicate's a great word, by the way. So once you remove yourself from when you slide yourself into that victim sort of sense, victims are usually, we look at victims and say you're innocent. There's one other side. There's the perpetrator, and then there's the victim. The victim didn't do anything. The victim was minding their business, and boom, here it is. Something bad happened to you. We never look and say, in fact, we call it, when you blame the victim, we say that's terrible. How could you do something like that? We automatically have roles in which we already stick people into. And we say, just like, no, you can't do that. She was hurt. So everything else that she did prior to that, to that is no longer important. That doesn't matter. That's typically how it goes. It's a very, very, very effective way of manipulating people, and especially when it comes time to actually manipulate the authorities. When they come in there and they start saying, "What's all this here?" And then you're like, "Oh no, oh no, he did this to me. This happened in the past. You see, I'm such a small, innocent waif. No. So very common thing. So in that same regard, we're going right into the next one. It's called guilt cycling. Right? You're made responsible for, how she feels. I think most men have felt like they've been in this scenario. I've been in a scenario where I'm somehow the one responsible for your emotional state. So if you wake up and you're not happy, well, I got to fix that. If you wake up and you're grumpy, or you dreamt about something, or something would happen with your friend group, and that's a very sensitive area, so you're not going to actually talk to them about it. You'll talk to me and display how unhappy you are. I'm responsible for keeping you even keeled. I'm responsible. The kids are responsible. The family, the house is responsible for keeping you even keeled. You see that we have it again. These things we have in our language, we have these things right here saying something as simple as, don't do that, you're going to upset your mom. Hey, be quiet, your mom's upset. Where we do these things where it's already coded to make you feel as if, well, this is what you have to do. If you can keep her happy, then the rest of us, we've got a shot at it ourselves. So you end up tiptoeing around someone because they were upset, and it's your responsibility to fix that. So if there's anger, it's my fault. If you're sad, it's my fault. It's always going to stem back to being my fault. So if we play this out, we play this out a bit, what you end up seeing is, this is why most men become shells of their former selves during the whole process of a long-term marriage or just long-term relationship, because when there's an issue that needs to be solved, and every relationship is going to have an issue that needs to be solved, it's going to become incumbent upon him to fix it. But he's also the problem. He's also the one that has to fix it. Even when he comes and brings an issue to you, he displays, hey, I'm upset about this. Now, well, he's weaponized. He's supposed to be one responsible for my happiness. So right now, I'm demonstrably upset. I'm not happy. Now we're no longer talking about the thing that originally bothered him, the thing that was originally important to him. Now what we have to talk about is what I said to you, how I said it, the time and day I said it, which planet was in retrograde, all these other hoops that have to be jumped through. But now you're upset. We've lost the substance of the conversation in its entirety. But I'm responsible for making you happy. So most men end up in a place where they're saying, well, what is the point? When we feel like that, and you can see vestiges of that in society today, men take a step back. They just kind of remove themselves from the process, remove themselves from the issue. If this is how things are playing out, then I just don't have to participate. The only way to win is not to play. So men are fine since saying, I'm going to leave this alone. I can't really do anything about this. Come on, that's required reading for a lot of women. I gotta know what's in retrograde. Because it all involves me. It all revolves about me. So once you make someone responsible for your own emotions, and you can fake, you can lie, you can trigger yourself at any point in time. So now you're upset about something that has nothing to do with your relationship, has nothing to do with your partner. But they know they're responsible for making sure you're happy. Now you're upset. Even if it's fake. All right, you want him to be in a good mood to allow you to go to Miami with your friends that are city girls. All right, they're city girls, and what's going to happen there. Well, you can start a fight. You can be upset about something. You can be depressed about whatever, just to massage him, just to get him into that place where he's malleable to whatever you need. Years ago, I was in therapy. It was couples therapy. Whenever I would get intractable about a specific topic, it would just guilt me into going back on top, talking about things that were already resolved, talking about things that happened years ago. It takes you off your position. It takes you off your literal high horse or your hill or the high ground, and it puts you in a place where you're just like, okay, The knee is already bent. What now? What is left to do? What is left to go? Left or right? Whatever you want to do. I just want to stop whatever this is so I can go back to the thing I thought was pseudo sort of peace. Again, some of these flow right into the other. The next one is, and this is what we're all familiar with. We all know this. Everyone is sort of guilty about this one. Moving the goalpost. You can come up with a list of things that are problematic in this relationship. These are the things that are making me unhappy. These are the reasons why our whole life sucks together, right? If you guys didn't get that prompt, remember to subscribe to the channel. Double tap the stream, like the damn thing. You gave me the list. You said, these are the things that make you unhappy. These are the things that are keeping you from fully being part of this relationship. Or this is why, if you did these things, I'd be feeling you. If you got a BMW, if you did this, if Steve Urkel, Laura, he had to wear it down. He had to be this. He had to be this. He had to change the entirety of himself, turn himself inside out in order to get her attention. Goalposts keep moving. It's not a thing that you could ever line yourself up for where you can actually properly kick this thing, right? And I appreciate that. Hold on, let's get a little. This is it. If you got every little bit of donation, it feels good, right? It feels good. It feels like, all right, we're doing something, we're creating something here, especially times where we can give back like this, or create something where there's a give and take. So once you find yourself in that position where, okay, here's a list, here's a laundry list of stuff that I had to do. I did them. What now? What happens now? Oh, no, now there's something else. It was never those things. It was just, sometimes we're a little too afraid to, or we're not brave enough to simply say, yo, I am done with this relationship. I am actually done with it. If I give you a list of things I'm saying I'm upset about, it's really not those things. It's those things, but it's not important. Once that person's out the door, it doesn't matter that you've done this laundry list of things that they wanted you to do. When she's telling you, yo, you never buy me flowers, and then you buy the flowers and the goalpost moves, I don't want to have to tell you to do that. You should be already doing that. Okay, so is this about the flowers, or is this about me not showing more of my intent? What is the issue here? Especially for men, when we find ourselves in that back foot, chasing the goals, jumping through the hoops, we understand that we are now part of the circus. Willingly, we're part of the circus. And there is someone else out there who has tickets to said circus, who is outside watching or getting ready to watch the show in which you jump through the hoops. Some of them are fire. You're doing the high wire act. You're doing all these things. You and the elephants are putting on such a beautiful performance. The lines are cooperating, but at the end of the day, she's going to say, yeah, it was never about you performing in a circus. It was this. He doesn't have to do any of those things. When you actually want to be there with someone, you don't have to manipulate them to make them feel like, hey, if you want to see me, you got to send an Uber. You got to pay for my car. You got to pay for my gas. You have to feed me. And men willingly sign up for that. Hey, in order to talk to me, you got to send me $20. And they do it because they don't understand where the baseline is. They don't understand what actual communication looks like with someone that actually wants to be with you, with someone that's not more concerned with extracting resources from you. They have no baseline for that. They think this is normal. They think this is reality, or they think they convince, as long as I get my foot in the door, I can convince her. I can teach her. I can show her that, yo, I'm the man. But once you start on this path, you never really get off of it. It's always something else. And when we see it from the outside looking in, we often look and say, yo, this is terrible. This is terrible. If you see your friends doing that, right? If you see your friends doing that, let them know it's terrible. This is absolutely terrible. So moving on, number 5, right? Reactive abuse. I think we've gotten a little bit better definition of that lately. When was it Taylor Frankie Palm? That sounds right? Yeah, that sounds right. When it was revealed, when you showed her, when her fiance or her boyfriend, baby daddy, when he videotaped her and he recorded her like wailing on her, when she threw the chair at, and their baby was right there in the proximity. What did we say online? What did we hear online? What did all the women say? It's reactive abuse. It's reactive abuse. He did so many bad things to her, and you're only recording the bad part. That may be true. That may be true. That's manipulation. I'm not saying we know enough about that scenario because, again, we're tourists. We don't on the channel. We don't tend to double down on some people's lives unless there's a lesson to be extracted there. Mainly because I don't care, and I think a lot of you don't care. But with reactive abuse, it's someone pushing your buttons, maybe being abusive to you, and then looking at your response, and then being angry based on your response, being upset based on your response. Now you're the issue. You're the problem. I smack you across the lips. Now you reach for the gun. You're the problem. You're the problem. In cases like that, it seems obvious. But in others where it's such as simple as, well, I've constantly needled you. I've constantly degraded you. I've constantly pushed you into now you don't even recognize who you are. So now, finally, we're at year 3, day 257, you snap. And I'm looking like, look at it. I always knew you were like this. You were always terrible. Mama always said this is about you. And you're left thinking, and the rest of the world, that's when they tend to pay attention. That's when they tend to look in. But in your relationship, when someone pushes your buttons purposely and then gets upset at how you react, that's manipulation. One of the things I'm always fond about saying here, one of the things I'm always fond about saying, you have to be in control of yourself. You have to be in control in the way you communicate and the way you allow people to actually come at you. Year 3, so many years of hell. Yeah, come on, what's going on? It's so many years of hell where you just stuck in that space, and it's F all you can do. You've got the sunk cost fallacy. You've got that loyalty. You're thinking that this is supposed to be how it's supposed to be. I'm sitting here. I'm supposed to do all these things. This is the right thing to do. This is how relationships are. Next, way years ago, when we got a little time to get in the story. We got a little time to get in the story. It was silly. All right. We'll talk about a little bit of manipulation, and again, if you guys feel so moved, you can share. But years ago, right? Years ago, one of my close friends, he dated this girl named Tiffany, right? And I thought she was absolutely stunning, gorgeous, phenomenal. Oh my God. Hey, all the things, right? All the things. But they were both my friends. So, I was the stoic guy in the middle. Sometimes they would come with issues to one another. And then I'd have to be the one like, jumping in between. It sucked. Right? Yeah. It absolutely sucked. You don't want to find yourself in that situation. But that's where we are. It's definitely about living your own life. Right? We're gonna get to that in a second. So they're contentious, right? But they're a cute couple. They date for a little bit, break up, no hard feelings. And it's years later, I run into her, right? At it was like a barbecue. Run into her. I'm like, oh my God, still so gorgeous. All right. All the things. I'm like, oh my God. She now expresses interest in me, and you know how it always goes. Like, oh, I was always interested in you back then. Right. But I do the honorable thing. I hit up my boy. I say, yo, are you cool? I just ran into such and such. You think you could? He gave me the green light, right? He gave me a green light, like John Legend. So, all right, cool. Right? Worst green light I ever got. Not on his part, but he should have told me. He did chuckle a little bit. He was like, all right. He said, no, I'm good. He's been in and out of relationships. I think he's got a little comedy career right now. But again, these are years apart. So we're dating, and it's awful. Like every 2-3 days we're fighting, like fighting, not fist fighting. I'm not that type. I'm not born like that. I'm not built like that. But we'd argue over words, over semantics. It didn't matter what it was. It was that time for us to fight. So again, there's plenty of manipulation going on in there. Plenty of stuff going on there. But continue on. So we end up, she was part of, I don't know what type of church it was, but they had a prophet, right? They had a big prophet coming to town, and she was so excited and she wanted me to go there with her. I go there with her. And the prophet says, right, he sees a wedding in a year. In about a year's time, he sees a wedding. And I'm in there, right? I'm the quintessential New Yorker. I'm sitting there, I'm skeptical. I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? I'm looking around. I'm saying, okay, you'd see two relatively young, a young couple. What are you going to think? If you were going to play the odds, you could even say something like that. I don't see this working. You have this, the odds are very good for that. But I want to tell you what you want to hear. I want to manipulate you into this sort of line of thought. It's easiest when I tie that into actual religion. Right? You've got a built-in mechanism to believe that. So, before I was into you way back then. Yeah, but way back then, I ain't know. Right? Way back then, I ain't know. You're like, but not the red one. No red ones, nothing. No hazards, no nothing. It was just no, hey, slippery ahead, nothing. I just went full forward. And so we're here at the prophet, right? Prophet doing his prophet thing, right? Thank you. Exactly. All right. First of all, Black Panther Venom. Imagine that combo, right? Don't look that up. Did the Black Panther ever have the symbiote? That'd be interesting. Not that he would really need it. Anyway, so yeah, he was doing a cold read, but that was my take. That's what I was thinking back then, right? Because if you're from New York, you're naturally suspicious for everything around you, and then you're Nigerian, so you're thinking about how can I scam people around me, right? I apologize, Nigerians. I apologize, but so yeah, you got to experience that shit yourself, right? So listen, I go there. I'm already acceptable. I'm like, I don't think none of this is real. Anyway, so we continue on, and not that anything changes in our relationship. The fights just get worse. Because one time, she said, "Yo, we're done," right? And she walks out, and when she says she's done, I go immediately to help her like pack her stuff, right? Because I'm kind of like that, right? I'm kind of like that. I gotta check that out. So what I have to go and do, I'm packing her stuff. You just said we're done. I believe you, right? Believe all women. If you say you're done, I'm gonna say, okay, cool. Okay, cool with a K. I'm not gonna sit here and fight you over it. So she leaves. Then 15 minutes she comes back. Taxi comes back, and she's like, I can't believe you let me leave. Manipulation. I can't believe you let me leave. What do you? I was supposed to run there like it's some Hallmark movie. I'm supposed to run there, embrace you, and say never. I can never let you go. Okay, so I'm wild confused. But again, I believe you. If you tell me something about a relationship, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to let it go. I'm good. I'm fine. No heat, no judgment. So we're coming up on just some random day, and it's not in the schedule for us to be fighting. It's not a schedule, but it's a fight. She's upset, and I'm like, what happened? What is it? What is it now? She said, a year ago the pastor said I'd have a ring. The prophet said I'd have a ring. So she's upset because the guy said, you were supposed to be, engaged by now. At that point, I said, okay, okay, this doesn't make any type of sense. You really thought that was supposed to work? Here's a response. I told her, we fight all the time. All the time. Her response is, couples fight all the time. That's normal. Right. Now we're talking, this is manipulation, right? This is manipulation. Now you want to make it seem like this is absolutely normal behavior. There's nothing. This is what you can expect for the rest of your life if you had listened to said prophet and done the right thing. So A lot of it, yeah, it comes from sheer ignorance. It comes from you're just too young. You don't have experience. And, we lived in a place before we had spaces on here, before people had podcasts. We didn't know. We didn't know the nitty gritty. We didn't have someone to lay it out and say, when this happens, this is not normal. This is not okay. This is not good. You had the people that had the knowledge, who were aware, who were using their knowledge and cold reading the room and saying, yeah, I bet this is what one of the two people here probably want to hear this. And if I tell him something he wants to hear, it's going to upset her and it's going to ruin everything. But if I flip it, I tell her something she's looking forward to hearing, he'll go along with it. That's what he thought. We ended up breaking up. And I remember driving my little G35 coupe down the, was it Jackie Rob? I was speeding down the Jackie Rob, drop us up at home, turn around, say, I need my key. Be a beautiful feeling. When the manipulation is gone, when you are done with a person and your time with them is over, and all you miss or all you realize now, you have more free time, more money in your pocket. Yeah, it's probably you should have left a long time ago. But again, we all don't know. We're all learning. And sometimes if you can have these conversations and hopefully talk to people on here and they can see it, they can pull it up whenever they want. They have an idea of, okay, this is what's not normal. This is not what's not okay. You may be going through something like that. So yeah, you were part of that one. Yeah. Yeah, she's going to move forward and argue about nothing. Right? You could set your time. You could set your watch. I bet you never routinely paid for vacations to go and argue overseas. I got you on that one. Right? To the point you're like, what am I doing? It's getting expensive. Why should I be doing this just to argue outside? Right? But listen, moving on. Right? We're talking about the social proxy pressure. Right? That's a lot of words to say something very simple. You need to know the friends. You need to know the influences. Because we're not getting along. But I know it's not my fault, because I went and asked about a bunch of people. They told me, yeah, you're the issue. You're not doing this right. You're not thinking right. You're not a good boyfriend. You're not listening to me. Before you throw stuff at me about you listening to me, you actually be attentive. They all heard it. I told them themselves. They said you're wrong. Now I've got more and more people, right, in our small little sample size. I said, nah, I asked Ricky, Bobby, right? I asked all these people. I asked Doc Brown. I asked everyone. They said you're wrong. So you've got to be wrong. That's all it takes. Bring back the stories. I want to upset some people, but a lot of these, notice I didn't even change the names, right? At all. But this is how that social pressure becomes a thing. Now, today, what we have, including that social pressure, or part of that package now, is social media. Is everyone else coming and saying, hey, if your man isn't doing this, get rid of him. If he's not paying all your bills, even though he makes $39,000 a year, if he's not in a foreign, you need to get rid of him. Oh, well, it's not just me saying it. Look at all these other creators. Look at all these other people saying the very same thing. Look at people young to old, all saying the same thing. That's a 65-year-old woman telling you the same thing. It's got to be real. It's got to be real. We don't do a lick of research to think, well, where did this idea come from? Where did this notion come from? Is any of it real, or it just kind of like, and that was enough. It sounded good, so let me repeat it. It felt good to say it, and it's the wisdom of the crowds. How could they be wrong? If everyone is saying the same thing, it's got to be true. Oh, you got studies conducted by bureaus and actual, research. I don't want to pay attention to any of that. None of that really important to me right now. But the person that does makeup and tells me, get ready with me story, I believe them. She's like, yeah, I've been with 3 men in my life and all of them suck. So all men suck. And you're like, yeah, that sounds good. I've been with men and it sucked. One I saw today, and these tend to be my favorite because they're the most aggravating to me, where it's people observing other people, because there's an art to observing people. There's a sort of etiquette, right? She's observing someone. She's at the airport and she's saying, and she's a 50-year-old woman talking about how this is why women choose to be single. She said there was a woman that was with her boyfriend or with her man or something, and the woman stopped to help some other woman that looked lost, a younger woman. And apparently the guy got mad, and she had this entire narrative behind it. And this is why, and then leading back to, this is why it's better to be single. This is what I'm talking about. When you take the strags, when you try to make something out of nothing because it fits this narrative, you've got your confirmation bias and you're trying to make things fit. And you hear enough of these things, now it surrounds you. Now it feels like the wisdom of the crowds, right? The echo chambers of social media. Yes, that's all it is. It doesn't matter how much data, how much real data is in front of you. Everyone is saying the same thing, so that is real enough for you. And then here you come, you meet someone that says, well, that's actually demonstrably false. And now you're upset at them, knowing you didn't do a lack of research about that. You didn't read the article, you saw it on TikTok. And some of these reels, some of these stories, it starts with something as, I saw a post that said this, and that's the premise. That's the bedrock of what you feel. I saw someone and they said this, so therefore it's real. That's all you need. And the rest of us, we're supposed to look at that and say, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now I make a post where I take your ideal and I put that out there in the real world and say, this has got to be true because this person said it and that person said it. So did that person. None of those, all those people were lying to. All those people did it because it sounded cool. I've had two different posts lately where you have two disparate people saying the same thing word for word, right? I posted one just yesterday or maybe 2 days ago, where the guy is asking, he's saying, so if you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, what are you supposed to do? Turn felons, community dick, this into kings? And if you're not one of these people that are constantly online looking for content, looking for things to actually talk about, you may have missed when women were saying that exact same line. It's a parenting video we put up recently. None of that is real to him. But is that real to her? Is that her experience? We just end up saying it because so many people say it, so it's got to be true. It's intellectually lazy. Again, end up looking goofy. We don't want to look goofy. So next one, all right, it's future faking. Man, we constantly do this. This is part of the game. This is part of the game. You start talking about how things will look in the future, have a kid, a family, all the things I know you want to hear, all the things that may be important to you. I talk about those. I entice you with those. They're not here right now. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to get it together. You can see why women are coming around saying, I don't want to bet on potential, because a lot of potential sounds the same thing as game. Although we should be evaluating the person's potential differently. Game is very shallow, right? In terms of, it doesn't stand up to any like scrutiny. You can look and see how game gets unwinded very quickly. But if you're looking for potential, you can just kind of look at the habits. You can look at how they hold themselves, how they conduct themselves, that work ethic. That's harder to fake. But when we're more lazy than not, as a culture, we find ourselves in this position where it's just easier to believe what someone has just said. That has to be true. Why would they lie to me? If you've heard that, you probably heard it yourself many times when we come into the space where we're just, well, why would that person lie about that? People lie about all sorts of things. All sorts of things. It fits their narratives, makes them feel good. Whatever reason, they lie, and we're left thinking, well, no one would lie about something so heinous. Yeah, that person would. They did it. Okay? So, future faking, part of game. Men do that all the time. But it's used as currency to keep you invested right now. I may not have the things that you need, that you're looking for. You want a man that's going to pay all the bills. I'm telling you about my plans to become a SoundCloud rapper. I'm gonna make it. Drake's gonna sample my ish, and that's it. That's all I need. So I also need your tax returns. I need to flip that. I also need your Ultima. But baby, I'm moving. You're gonna see we're gonna be a great family. Things are gonna really great. I'm gonna put you up in that house that you've always wanted. We're gonna take vacations. While I'm playing at you, so right now I can get you to invest with me now. I invest, I mean take your resources. That's the game. Men have been doing that since time immemorial. So I mean, it's hard to throw that at women and say this is definitely how men often end up doing that. Next one we got is, or the last one we got is identity hijacking. And again, I'm gonna say this line, and you're gonna realize it. You're gonna hear it. You're not the person I thought you were. Not the man I thought you were. I'm sure we've all heard it, or that's been told to us. So you use that person's self-image to control them. A real man would. All it is manipulation. All that is I'm trying to get you to conform to what I need you to do. So I'll challenge your identity. I'll make it seem as somehow you're lacking, how a real person in the scenario, someone that you claim to be, this big bad leader, this big bad man who you would want to be, he would do that. And because you can't do that right now, you're not a man. You're not this. You're not a real N-word. You're not this. You're not this. You can be 100% honest about how you are. Still see this. Yeah. Speaking from experience, if you're actually looking, right? When you tell people, yeah, and sometimes that, that comes with age, where you're able to just tell people, hey, this is what I want. This is important to me. That's why even when you see some of these despicable people saying flat out, yo, I need money. I need money. You on date one with her, I need money, right? I don't want to lead you on. I don't want to tell you anything. Now it's up to you. Say, all right, bet. I hear you. I hear you. Excuse me, as I gotta go. Left the stove on, right? And you exit. If people are honest and tell you exactly, like, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm looking for, this is what's important to me, then fair exchange is no robbery. We always give it to that. We always give people that. But in the way we like to talk to people, the way we like to manipulate, because it means I have to do less to get the maximal result from you. It costs me nothing to chastise and tease you and say, you're nothing like your mom. And your mom was a saint. Look at all the things that your mom did, and look what you do. You're a bum, right? You're terrible. You're a bum. We see it so much because manipulation sometimes tends to be in the realm of how women sort of communicate. But all across social media, you all hear that right now. A real man would do, insert what that particular woman needs done. That's it. That's the story. So again, if you've been subject to, some of these manipulations that we just mentioned, reach out to your lawyers, and maybe we can do a class action lawsuit. In truth, a lot of this, you become wise to it in time. But like we said on, on Sunday, we men, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to sit there and be hurt in the ways that, especially as a black man, be hurt in the ways that society says. Be hurt, but then be open. Be completely vulnerable to this person. This is emotional. A real man would be emotionally intelligent. Sometimes you get emotionally intelligent and you get cold. That's not a dumb choice. That's not a too emotional choice. Sometimes that's just a cold, intelligent choice. We get to the point where we think that these things are supposed to look feminine in men. An emotionally intelligent man does not sound like an emotionally intelligent woman. It doesn't. He doesn't now skew the way he does things and the way he thinks to be a feminine way of doing things. It's just how he is. You have someone emotionally intelligent, it's going to look masculine. It's going to look very rigid. It's going to be saying, hey, we talked about this. We discussed what was important to me. You cross these boundaries repeatedly, 3 times by the last count. And I told you what happens after that point. I have to remove myself from this. That's still emotionally intelligent. It sounds cruel. It sounds cold. But that's how men think. That's how men are. Becoming emotionally viable, becoming emotionally intelligent doesn't make you into a woman. It doesn't make you suddenly like the things that women like. The best way that can happen is if I manipulate you. If I make you twist and turn make you into this type of person where now you're sort of confused. You're not behaving in a way that comes natural to you because you're thinking, well, this is how it's supposed to be emotional, to be emotionally intelligent. You know, you always be in competition when the ideal, yes. When someone has that idealized image of you that fits the way they have lived their lives, what's important to them, yes, you will always find yourself lacking constantly. There's no way for you to overcome that. The idealized image of me, he's way better than me. He's way better than me. But I use that as motivation. When people have these images of you, they use it to let you know how you're failing, how you could be doing better, how you should be doing these things. And it's made up, it's erroneous. It feels good to them. It suits their purpose. So especially when we do that, we stop looking at what's important to us. We stop looking at what we have to do. Actually, high IQ men and women have more, move different. Yeah, it's not how social media, exactly. You have high EQ? Cool. That doesn't mean we're supposed to look and sound exactly the same when our genders are different. High EQ means you do that. For me, that's what it means. It means I understand my place in the world. I understand how I impact the people around me, how my words matter and how they carry weight, but the intent behind them matters just as much, if not more. I know when someone's trying to get me off the market, someone's trying to manipulate me, and I know the best thing I can do is simply take a step back and say, best of luck to you. I know my attention is valuable, and I know my attention is not rated the same as just regular men. But I know it's hard for you to see that if you don't know me, if you don't know the people around me, if you don't know my circle. It's hard for you to see that. But that doesn't mean you get to disrespect me. That doesn't mean you get to try your hand at the manipulation game. I see it, I call it out, or I don't. I just simply walk away. I could be hurting inside. I could be dying inside. I'll still walk. I'll still walk. That's what a lot of us as men being emotionally intelligent, that's what it is. Society will look at that and say there's something lacking, there's something wrong. Why are men doing this? It's because they don't know how to feel. Why do you think that? You think because when we're little boys they say, yo, man up. No, man up doesn't mean ignore your feelings. Man up says, I know you're hurt. I know it hurts right now. There's still a job to do. That's what man up means. Doesn't mean you'll bury it 6 feet under, 6 feet deep, bury it. I don't even want to see about it, don't even talk about it. No, it just means there's still work to do. There's still time on the clock. You got to finish that. There will be time for you to feel these things. That's what it means. And sometimes, you don't like talking about morbid things, especially it's not another family. But, my family this time, we were talking about wills. And I said, I'm leaving everything to my brother. Everything. And there was a little bit of pushback. I think my sister was upset about that for a bit. But I said, in the event of my death, you are going to be a mess. My sister dearest, she's going to be a mess. My brother, he'll know how to get through that and know that his time for mourning did not start just as everyone else's did. He'll get things done. He'll make sure everyone's squared away. Then he'll cry. Then he'll mourn. But you heard that, Joe. No, that makes sense. The last thing I know she wants to deal with is going through this and this now. She just wants to mourn. You understand that? That's what it is for us. We're not just void of feelings. It just don't look like yours. It just don't operate like yours. Doesn't mean we lack them. Doesn't mean they're gone. Doesn't mean we're somehow dysfunctional humans. We move differently, think differently. It makes sense that we would emote differently. when we constantly have the structure in place where it's supposed to be from a feminine lens, from rose-colored glasses, then yes, we're always going to lack. There's no way for us not to lack because we're not you. We're not. It doesn't make us wrong. We'll constantly fail this test because we studied for English and you brought algebra. There's some letters in it, but no, we're not prepared for this. We're not equipped for this. There's a lot of overlap, but when we hang out on the extremes, there's never anything that's really similar. Because emotionally intelligent man, today's dating game is no different than Catholic bros. Listen, we always appreciate wit. We always appreciate wit. Yeah. I like those little, what's it? Have like a little lamb and surrounded by all these wolves, like being an emotionally intelligent man today. But yeah, I want us to, again, the purpose of the license for us to sort of share and talk about some of these things. And sometimes in order to facilitate that, you have to go first. So this is why these episodes have been going first. The goal is to create that place, that platform where we can sort of go over these things. And if it helps, because, you know, I'm a man. So if it helps sometimes give insight into how you should be talking to men, how the differences in ways that actually would resonate more with that type of man, we can create spaces for that. Right? Not like a weird pop the balloon conversation show. Nothing like that. But the whole point is for us to have our ideas out here, have people come talk about what makes sense to them, what they've seen, and, you know, walk away a little better for that. That's the purpose of the license. If you just want to laugh at stuff, that's subscriber Sundays. But all the same, eventually we're gonna start the call-ins. We just got to get a handle on how best to handle that. So give me a little time, be a little bit of patience. But besides that, I hope I see a bunch of guys on the next one.
I did not know I held so much goodness. All seems beautiful to me.